Hi guys, it's Monique from earlylearningmom.com. I'm here today for a different kind of video. It's Doman method related, but this isn't about your kid right now. This is about you and myself as the parents of special needs kids. One thing that I found when my kiddo was first diagnosed with autism was the fact that I felt solely responsible to help my child thrive and develop to their full potential. And I came at this with not the healthiest methods. I came at this more in a martyr fashion. I was willing to sacrifice myself to help my child. And I experienced a lot of burnout. I wasn't healthy. I wasn't happy. My life revolved around helping my child become well, which in hearing that, that doesn't sound terrible. That's, as a mother, it's our job to help our children. But one thing I've discovered is it's not our job to do that at the expense of our own mental health. And while I say this, I mean, I know there are situations where children are injured, there are life and death situations, and of course you have to put things to the side and deal with those situations and know that there's going to be a time where this balances out. But when you're dealing with special needs like autism, something that is long, like a long duration disability or illness or developmental delay, this is a sprint. This is a marathon, sorry, not a sprint. And if you give it your all and you are not taking care of yourself as a mom, when you burn out, there's nobody there to help your child. So something that just kind of came to me one day, you hear about toxic relationships. And I realized that in the beginning, when Zakari was diagnosed with autism, I was experiencing what I now call toxic motherhood. And to me, the definition of toxic motherhood is when a mother sacrifices her own well-being in order to help or live through or help develop a child. Now, this may not be a special needs child. This could be a mother that maybe didn't have the opportunities for some sort of activity, whether it be gymnastics, whether it would be, acting, whether it be figure skating, whether it be soccer, and they are living through their child. Or a mother of a special needs child that is sacrificing themselves completely for their child. Now, there's a balance, and the other side is divine motherhood, which in my personal definition of that is being able to balance taking care of your child while taking care of yourself and not sacrificing either. Because I've told this story before, but if there's any new viewers, when Z started his Doman program, we came back from Doman International and we were given this rather intense program with strict instructions to only start a little bit at a time. You start this the first month, you start this the second month, you start this the third month. Well, I didn't listen, and I looked at that, I said, I could start that all now. And I got the whole program going. And it wasn't that it was too much for Zakari, it was too much for me. And instead of easing myself into it, I threw myself right in. And 2 weeks later, I got sick. So I lost my voice. I wasn't able to do my videos. I wasn't able to do any of Zakari's reading program. And so a couple days later, I started feeling a little better, but I wasn't 100%. Now, if I had been in divine motherhood mentality, I would have continued to rest. I maybe would have done some cuddling and done a little bit of light reading, but I would not have jumped into a full program. But I jumped into a full program. A week later, I developed a severe eye infection, and it actually was to the point that I had to wear sunglasses inside my house at night because my eyes were so sensitive. And it was my body's way of telling me, you need to slow down. And after that, I learned that I had to balance out living the life of helping my child get well, but knowing that this is a long game, and I need to make sure that we are easing ourselves in, make sure that I am scheduling time for myself, make sure that I am eating well, and that I am getting my water in, and I'm taking breathers. And ensuring that my mental health was considered in this process as well. And that's one thing I like about Doman International, is they're ensuring that they check in with the families and they work with the families. And while the child is their main priority, they are making sure that the programs that they're offering are realistic. And if there's any problems or it's too much, that they will talk with the family and work through what is the priority programs and what are like the nice to have programs. Obviously, you want an entire program, but what good is it if mom is burnt out and she can't do any of it? Or dad can't do any of it. So back then, shortly after, probably about a year or two later, I started working with a life coach. I started working with Morgan Doman, who used to, it was one of the founders of Doman International, like one of the, the main people that developed this nonprofit. And she has since branched off and does life coaching, and she has a unique position where she can work with special needs parents that are doing the Doman program, because she is herself was a child on the Doman program. So over the last couple of years of working with her, she's helped me see that being a martyr in this situation is not helping Zakari at all. And she's actually told me to put the program away, take a break, and make sure that I'm taking care of myself. And when I come back to the program, we are stronger. Zakari is doing better with the program because I'm coming in with a better mindset. So I just wanted to share with you a few things that I do for myself. I am not perfect. I have, these times where I slip back into toxic motherhood. I slip back into sacrificing myself for my child without realizing that it's not one or the other. Like, I don't have to rip off my life preserver and put both of them on Zakari. I can wear one and he can wear one, and we can get through this together. And basically, yeah, so what I do for myself to make sure that I am in the right state of mind, I have started, like I mentioned, I see a life coach. I speak to Morgan bi-weekly. That is a top priority for me. It's not always about the Doman program. Sometimes it's about dealing with relationships. It's about finding my passions in life besides motherhood, and finding myself as an individual, and remembering that I am my own person too. And while I do identify as a mother, that I am my own creative being as well. And I fall short of this often, and she helps remind me of that and helps make sure that I'm doing what I need to do to take care of myself. Another big thing for me personally is journaling. And this is a way for me to get some of those feelings out that I don't want to say out loud, but they're bottled in there, and unless I release them, they're still in the back of my mind. And you know, sometimes you have a rough day and you question, like, am I good enough? Can I do this? Why am I in charge of somebody that needs so much help, and I can barely take care of myself? And these self-doubts and these a lot of untruth that run through your head. Like, the meanest person to me is myself, and I really have been working on that to get that dialogue out of my head, so that way I can be a better person for my son and for myself. So journaling is a great way to detox my mind of this garbage, to dump it out onto paper. And then when I read it back, then I start thinking, okay, maybe this isn't right. Okay, that's silly. No, I'm doing a good job. Look at all the good stuff. And then sometimes I'll go in there and I'll list, okay, so if I'm doing all of this bad, like in my head, what am I doing good? And what have we accomplished? And so I'm able to get that all out and release it. And I'm also able to document our successes in there and our journey. And I mean, it'll be amazing to look back at that and to see how far I've come and how far Zakari's come and our journey. So that has been amazing. Another thing I do is I make sure to take a night a week for myself. So whether it is leaving Z with his dad, or whether it is getting in a respite worker, I make sure that I schedule time just for me, so I can go and get a massage, or go for a drive, or sit somewhere and just listen to an audiobook and just shut down. Not shut down, but like shut down that responsibility, where I can just do something that is pleasurable for myself and give myself that break. And I find when I have weeks where I don't have that alone time and I don't have that time to decompress, that I am shorter, my fuse is shorter, and I am less productive. So to take that time is crucial for me. Another thing I like to do is either everybody's got different modalities, but some people like to meditate. I've recently just been trained with theta healing, and I like to do meditation with theta and clear out some of those reoccurring negative beliefs that I have, and try to like process that. So it's kind of building on the journaling. And that's not for everybody. Some people might take that time to pray, and some people may take that time just to be quiet, like have quiet and try to calm their mind. And I think that self-reflection and working through those limiting beliefs is super helpful for us as moms and dads of special needs kids, because the world fills us full of these negative beliefs. And you know, autism is not curable, and all of this stuff, like your child with Down syndrome, they're not going to be able to do what other kids do. And we're seeing these kids that are on the Doman program blowing these limiting beliefs out of the water. And so if these kids can do it, there's no reason our kids can't. So anyhow, I just wanted to come on here and share. I know this video is kind of all over the place, but it was really important to me. I was working with Morgan, and we were talking about this toxic motherhood, and she wanted me to define it. And every time I sat down to write it, it just wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to. So I figured that this was meant to come out as a video, and maybe to, instead of being limited to my eyes and my journal, maybe another mom might hear this. And I know when you start the Doman program, you are motivated and determined and your priority is your child. But I just wanted to share with you that as a mom that's been on this program for going on 5 years, this is a marathon. It is not a sprint, and do not forget yourself. And it is okay to step back. It is not selfish to take that time. Going to the grocery store to get your groceries, that's not self-care. That is a chore. Going into the washroom and taking a shower, that is not self-care. That is basic hygiene. And I think a lot of us, well, I can only speak for myself, but I know when I thought I was going to the grocery store without my kiddos, I was getting away, but I wasn't. I thought when I would take my Tuesday nights and I'd go sit in Starbucks and enjoy my coffee, well, making Doman material was getting away. It wasn't. I needed my own outlet of creativity and my own opportunity to create, whether it's making videos, or whether it's writing, or whether it is journaling, or whether it is taking spiritual development classes, whether it's taking a photography class, whether it is dancing on Tuesday nights, something that is not a chore. And by doing that, you will save yourself so much heartache with burnout. And that is my number one thing. I realize now, if we're having a rough day and I feel myself like I'm getting to the edge of like, this is too much, and I was able to do this fine last week, but this is too much today, we scale back. And we make sure that we're taking our mental health into consideration in this. And then if I do that, the next day when we get up with and start doing the program, it's smoother. Whereas if I try to push through and force us when we're not mentally in the game, the next day is the same thing, and the day after that. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. And anyhow, I hope this video is helpful. If you haven't already, be sure to thumbs up, subscribe, and if you're interested in starting a Doman program for your own child, down below in the description I will have a link to a free consultation. Basically, you can fill out the information, and if you find these videos helpful and you want to start a program, by filling out that application, it gives us a referral, which helps us get a little discount on Zakari's appointments. So if you found this helpful, that would be a great way to give back if you would like to, and it's no extra cost for you. And anyhow, be sure to check out that link down below, and down below you can find some other videos, some other Doman videos that I have shared over the years. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and take care.